What's up, guys? Welcome back to Inside the 20. Today is none other than the Week 18 recap. It's the final recap of the 2024-2025 NFL season. Don't worry, I will be doing playoffs, so please don't stress over that. But yeah, obviously behind me, new background, got some stuff for Christmas. The football's still the same, but the helmet and the trophy are new, so new background. Hope y'all like it. But let's get into it. So going to a great game out of Baltimore. Ravens win it 35-10 over Cleveland. The Ravens clinched the AFC North for the second straight year with the win, and the Ravens were nearly 3 touchdown favorites against Cleveland, and they stood up to that. 25-point win. Nate Wiggins recorded his first ever NFL interception, as well as his first ever pick six on the exact same play. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry combined for 201 rushing yards. Remember, one of them is a quarterback. The Browns struggled with a makeshift backfield, and QBs Bailey Zappi or Dorian Thompson-Robinson couldn't get things going. The Ravens dominated from start to finish despite a few sloppy plays. Cleveland, y'all are the newest member of the de-expansion teams. They will join the Week 13 Titans, as well as the Week 13 Jags, the Week 15 Saints, and the Week 17 Bears. So congrats to Cleveland. Going to Pittsburgh. Bengals get the win 19-17 over the AFC rival. The victory kept the Bengals' slim playoffs hope alive, but they were dashed after Sunday's game. The Bengals struggled to score touchdowns, totaling just one, but kicked 4 field goals. And you know what's funny? The stadium, I don't know how to say it, Acrus? It used to be Heinz. That was a lot easier. But anyway, the Steelers Stadium. It's the hardest stadium to kick in, I've heard. Even Chris Boswell, who was very automatic and has been in the league for a very long time. Obviously, he's probably mastered how to kick in that stadium. But I've seen things and I've heard things that it is very hard to kick in that stadium. So maybe not. I mean, all the field goals are pretty easy. But the Bengals defense played a key role in securing the win, including a 4th down stop late in the game. The Steelers' offense struggled as they failed to accumulate 200 yards. The Steelers' offensive issues continue heading into the playoffs. As if anybody doesn't know, the Steelers were 10-3. They finished the season 10-7. Also, George Pickens, moment of silence for George Pickens. I think he had 5 targets, 4 drops. He had 1 catch for 1 yard. If not, I think it was horrible. It was bad. It was not good. And I mean, I'm a Bengals fan, so I love to see that for Pittsburgh, but they got to clean that up. The Steelers' inability to move the football highlighted ongoing offensive concerns as they approach the playoffs. Also, some news coming out of Cincinnati. A few days following the game, the Bengals fired defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo after 6 seasons with the Bengals. They also fired a bunch of other defensive coaches and the offensive line coach. Heading to a game that was not supposed to be good, but turned out to be good. Panthers get the win 34-28 in overtime. Both young QBs, Bryce Young and Michael Penix, had outstanding performances. Bryce Young finished 25 of 34 for 251 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, as well as 5 carries for 24 yards and 2 more rushing touchdowns. That's 5 touchdowns. 3 through the air, 2 through the ground. What a great showing, man. Michael Penix, on the other hand, went 21 of 38 and 312 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 5-yard rushing score. Each QB's performance provides optimism for their respective fan bases heading into the offseason. The high-scoring affair highlighted the potential of both young QBs, and the game marked the end of the Panthers' regular season with a strong victory. Going to Tennessee, Texans get the win 23-14 over Tennessee. The Texans snapped a 2-game losing streak as they were able to get the win on the road. The win gives the Texans momentum heading into the AFC playoffs. QB CJ Stroud had an impressive start, completing all 6 of his passes for 50 yards and a touchdown. All of this was on the opening drive before he sat out the rest of the game. The Titans' defeat marks the end of a miserable season as they finished with a 3-14 record. The Titans secure the number 1 overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft thanks to New England's win over Buffalo. Heading to a game the Giants were supposed to win, but they lost against backups. Anyway, Eagles get the win on the road 20-13. The Eagles were able to get the win against the Giants with Tanner McKee making his first ever NFL start. McKee threw for 269 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, as he led the Eagles to victory and secured the NFC's 2 seed for the postseason. The win was largely meaningless for the Eagles, as they rested key starters but allowed them to assess McKee's skill set. The Giants were eliminated from playoff contention and are heading into the 2025 draft with optimism. Rookie wideout Malik Nabers had another solid performance, adding to an impressive campaign that will serve as a building block for the Giants in the offseason. The Eagles' win helped maintain their momentum heading into the postseason despite the absence of key players. Going to Indianapolis, the Colts get the win in a tight one, 26-23 over Jacksonville. The Colts offense accumulated over 350 total yards as they were able to get the victory. Joe Flacco ended his season on a high note, finishing 23 of 40 for 264 yards, as well as a touchdown and 3 big-time throws. Jonathan Taylor had a standout performance once again, as he ran for 177 yards and a touchdown on 34 carries. The Colts were able to finish the season on an 8-9 record, while the Jags finished with a 4-13 record. Flacco's performance gave the Colts a positive note to build on for the offseason, and finally, despite the Jaguars' struggles, they can look forward to improvements in the offseason, as they have officially fired Doug Peterson. Going to Dallas, the Commanders get the win 23-19. Marcus Mariota led the Commanders to a 23-19 victory over the Cowboys with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin with just 3 seconds remaining. The win secured the 6th seed in the NFC playoffs for the Commanders as they finished the season 12-5. Mariota replaced rookie Jaden Daniels at halftime, as he was able to throw for 2 touchdowns and running for another, sparking an offense that had just 64 yards in the first half. Mariota's clutch performance gave the Commanders a much-needed boost in the game that they had struggled in offensively until the second half. The Cowboys' defense struggled to contain Mariota's spark in the second half, despite the team's strong first-half performance. Washington's win marked a strong finish to the season, showcasing their resilience and playoff readiness. Going to a game that everybody thought the Bears were going to lose once again, but for once in a blue moon, the Bears were able to get the win. Bears winning against the rival Green Bay Packers 24-22. The Bears end their 10-game losing streak and snap an 11-game skid against the Packers, dating back to 2018. Chicago nearly found a new way to lose, fumbling a screen pass with 2 minutes remaining while ahead by 1 point. It's the most Chicago Bears thing to do. The Packers capitalized on the fumble, scoring a field goal, but Caleb Williams led the Bears down the field for a game-winning drive, securing a 24-22 victory after a game-winning field goal. The Bears head into the offseason with questions surrounding the offense and coaching staff. Also, despite the loss and Jordan Love's injury, the Packers make the playoffs as the NFC's number 7 seed. Just some news for Green Bay, they will travel to Philadelphia to face the Eagles in the wildcard round. Going to Tampa Bay, Buccaneers win at 27-19 over New Orleans. The Buccaneers clinched their 4th consecutive NFC South title with a 27-19 victory. The win came after a dramatic rally from a 16-6 deficit led by QB Baker Mayfield. Wide receiver Mike Evans made history on the game's final play as he caught a 9-yard pass to surpass 1,000 receiving yards for the 11th consecutive time. Evans' milestone ties Jerry Rice for the most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons in NFL history. Clap it up for Mike. Ties the all-time great Jerry Rice. The victory secured Tampa Bay's division crown and added to the celebrations. Heading to Buffalo, Patriots get the win 23-19 over Buffalo. Joe Milton III made an impressive NFL debut as he passed for a touchdown and ran for another. The Patriots were able to beat the AFC's champion Bills. The win snapped a 6-game losing streak for the Patriots. Milton stepping up for the rookie Drake May after just 1 series, finished 22 of 28 for 240 yards. Despite the win, head coach Gerard Mayo was relieved of his duties after the game, signaling more changes ahead for the franchise. And the Bills, despite the loss, secured the AFC East title, but faced challenges heading into the playoffs, with the Patriots defense providing a tough test. Heading to Las Vegas, Chargers get the win 34-20 on the road. The Raiders took an early lead, but the Chargers regained control toward the end of the first half and never looked back. Chargers QB Justin Herbert threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading the offense, while Chargers receiver Quentin Johnston was a key contributor, finishing with 13 receptions for 186 receiving yards, some Jamar Chase numbers. The Chargers accumulated over 400 yards in the win as they showcased a strong offensive performance. The victory secured momentum for Los Angeles as they head into the postseason as the 5 seed. The Raiders struggled defensively in the second half as they were unable to contain Herbert and Johnston. Despite the loss, the Raiders showed early promise but ultimately faltered as the game progressed. The Chargers' win highlighted their offensive firepower, a potential asset for the playoffs. And news out of Las Vegas, the Raiders have fired their head coach Antonio Pierce. Going to Arizona, the Cardinals win it in a blowout 47-24. Kyler Murray led the charge as he finished with 242 passing yards on 25 of his 35 attempts and 4 touchdowns. The Cardinals capitalized on key opportunities to secure the win against the division rival. Murray's performance was enough to outpace Joshua Dobbs and a 49ers offense that fought hard throughout the game. The victory provided the Cardinals with a strong win to finish the season despite challenges earlier in the year. Arizona's defense played a crucial role as they limited the 49ers to scoring opportunities. The 49ers, despite their fight, were unable to overcome mistakes and struggles on both sides of the ball. The win allowed the Cardinals to end the season with some momentum heading into the offseason. Going to Denver, Bo Nix led the Broncos to a dominant 38-0 victory over the Chiefs as they clinch a playoff berth as the AFC's number 7 seed. Nix passed for 321 yards and 4 touchdowns, showcasing poise and leadership in his first do-or-die NFL game. Carson Wentz struggled for the Chiefs, offering little on offense while the defense also faltered. The Broncos' defense played a key role in the blowout as they shut out the Chiefs. The Broncos will face Buffalo in the first round of the wild card, and the Chiefs already had the number 1 seed locked up in the AFC, so will enjoy a bye in the playoffs. Going to Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, Seahawks win it 30-25 over the Rams. Geno Smith put forth a strong performance as he completed 20 of his 27 passes for 223 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 big-time throws. Rams backup QB Jimmy G also played well, finishing 27 of 41 for 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 1 big-time throw. Despite the victory, the Seahawks fall just short of making the playoffs, finishing outside the NFC's wildcard spots. The Rams, with the loss, secure the number 4 seed in the playoff as they have won the NFC West. Smith's performance capped off by a solid season for the Seahawks, but it wasn't enough to propel them into the postseason. Seattle's defense struggled to stop the Rams' offense as they allowed Jimmy G to rack up impressive passing yards. The victory provided Seattle with a strong finish, but their playoff hopes were dashed due to an earlier season struggle. The Rams, despite a strong individual effort from Garoppolo, remain a playoff team and will look to carry momentum into the postseason. Going to New York, Jets get the upset 32-20 over Miami. Aaron Rodgers, in what could be his final NFL game, bounced back from an early interception to throw 4 tutties, which eliminated Miami from the playoffs. Tyler Huntley started for the Dolphins, but Miami's offense struggled to overcome the Jets' defense. Despite the win, the Jets' season ended on a positive note, but overall, the campaign had many more negatives. The Jets' defense held strong, limiting Miami to just 20 points and shutting down their attempts to mount a comeback. The Jets finished the season with a sense of optimism, but their struggles throughout the season, especially on offense, remained a concern heading into the offseason. Going to probably the worst game, I would say. Lions win it 31-9 against Minnesota. The Lions defeated the Vikings 31-9 in a crucial Sunday night football game to determine the NFC's number 1 seed. Sam Darnold, who had shown improvement throughout the season, struggled against the Lions, as he completed just 3 of his 13 passes under pressure. Detroit's defense, led by Aaron Glenn, generated 22 pressures, flustering Darnold and causing havoc for the Vikings offense. Jahmyr Gibbs had a standout performance with 4 touchdowns and 170 all-purpose yards as he helped the Lions pull away in the second half. Amik Robertson played a key role in limiting Justin Jefferson, stifling the Viking star receiver. Also for Minnesota, the offense couldn't do anything as the Vikings had 4 possessions in the red zone inside the 10-yard line where they couldn't even score. The victory clinched the NFC North title for the Lions for the second consecutive year as they secure a first-round bye in the playoffs. Detroit's offensive line, which had struggled at times throughout the season, stepped up in the second half to give Gibbs and QB Jared Goff time to execute key drives. Finally, with the win, the Lions enter the playoffs on a high note, showcasing both offensive and defensive dominance and securing the division crown. Alrighty, y'all. That will do it for the Week 18 recap. Thank you for tuning in. If you have not checked out all of my other recaps, this is the final one of the season. Like I said in the recap, I will be doing playoffs, so please don't worry. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys back in the postseason. This has been Inside the 20 and the Week 18 recap.